It's the end of the year. It's December. Only a few more days and then we're heading into 2026. And I'm not gonna lie, I promised myself 2024 I was gonna do better with my art and practice more. I did not. So I told myself, you know what? We're on our last month. Let's lock in. Let's get into it. We're gonna start a sketchbook at the end of the year because I didn't do any real art practice this entire year. In my previous videos, I've talked about how I've struggled with art and creating and whatnot. One of my big things is anatomy. I hate anatomy. I hate trying to practice it because everyone's like, it's shapes. It's just, just learn shapes. I wasn't good at geometry, okay? I won't lie. I was not good at geometry in high school. So, come on, guys. Thankfully, though, I have two awesome friends that last night, I was just like laying in bed and watching them draw. And I was like, do you guys want to help me learn how to draw? Hi, Red. Hi, Avery. These are their Twitters. Go follow them. They're awesome. Love my friends. I spent maybe 3 hours watching them draw, asking for help. I still am gonna struggle because it's something that takes a long time and a lot of practice to, learn. So, I'm hoping that as I go throughout the rest of this month, I can get better, more comfortable doing in art. If you've seen any of my other artworks that I've shared on my Etsy and stuff, you can see that I usually do digital art. But because I do digital art, I feel like it's more difficult for me to truly learn how to draw. I think it's because it's so difficult for me to learn and practice on digital because I rely so heavily on stabilization. I worry so much on if the sketch is gonna look good or not, instead of just doing the sketch and being like, oh, I'll worry about that later. No, I never just let the sketch be a sketch. I feel like the sketch has to be perfect, then the line art has to be perfect, but if I do that, then I'm just wasting time. I just took a little bit of time the past 2-3 days to just, practice sketching based on some videos, pictures from Pinterest, the videos and sketches that Avery and Red helped me out with. Something that I truly recommend too are point character drawing by Taco. I got these on Amazon a while ago and I thought I lost them, but I actually found them in my closet. I have 1 and 2. I know there's a third one about I think it's about designing characters. I want to get that one, but of course I have to actually go through these books and practice so I can actually eventually learn and truly absorb anatomy because it's difficult. I won't lie. Everything is shapes. And I know it is shapes, but yeah. It's not gonna stop me from practicing because it's like I can never record a video in peace. Like she always is just here. Whatever. Right now I'm just sketching, practicing eyes, trying to do heads, lips. I'm working on legs because legs are very difficult. I won't lie. So what I plan on doing is splitting up days into a day where I focus on a specific fundamental, such as I'll focus on legs and feet. I hate feet, by the way, but I don't want them just walking around on nubs. Then another day I'll do arms, hands. Hate drawing hands so much. I hate it, but I feel like everybody hates it. Oh my gosh, I'm tired of just drawing front-facing characters. But then, I used to only do the 3/4, but I cannot draw side profiles, which is crazy because I could easily just, take a picture of my side profile and draw over it. I want to learn how to do it freehand. I really do. I love looking at references, but I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable in just drawing on my own, not having to look at references just from pure imagination. Because I know a bunch of people experience this, where you have a thought in your mind, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so awesome. I can't wait to draw it. And then you go and draw it, and you're like, this is the worst possible thing I've ever created in my life. And unfortunately, that happens with me a lot, because I don't just draw. I'm trying to experiment with clay, polymer clay, and I'll see pictures or I'll get an idea and I'll try and make it. And I'm so excited. I make it and it looks like just a piece of poop that fell out of someone's butt. And I'm like, wow. But I don't have a choice because I spent so much money on the materials and I have the passion to make things. So I have to learn eventually. And if it's bad, it's bad. So what I've been doing is I've been going on Pinterest and, just scrolling, made a few Pinterest boards, one for, art references. It has some tutorials in it, art styles that I really love and, want to take inspiration from. And even, just like real life photos of real life people that I eventually want to take and turn into art. Because I have OCs, original characters that eventually I want to develop and turn into, I don't know, something more, maybe in the future. Like these, right? The little figurines. I've always wanted to make my own figurine. Another thing I've done is I've made a YouTube playlist that's just full of people creating art. Whether it's sketching, painting, giving advice, tips, because I think sometimes just watching other people, draw kind of gives me the inspiration to keep practicing. I do have one sketchbook, so my plan is actually to get a second one. This sketchbook primarily is going to be for my anatomy practice, and I want to fill this entire thing, let's say by February. So future me, future Jay, you got to make sure you fill this by February or else everybody will throw rocks at you. I've been so inspired by all of those sketchbook tours where people paint and stuff with the acrylic paint markers. So I bought a couple of those from, I think the brand is Art. I think there were a couple that I saw, but I ended up just looking up on YouTube and TikTok which ones a lot of people recommended that were affordable. Because art supplies is kind of expensive and I'm not at the point where I have companies sending me products to try, which is fine. I will use my hard-earned money so that I can put more hard work into possibly making more money. I'm not happy with where my art is, but now I think I've surrounded myself with people that are supportive and willing to help me in my art journey. If you're struggling like I am, I recommend trying to connect on social media and real life, go to art clubs, art communities, etc. It's gonna be difficult because I hate to say it, especially online, some people are kind of stuck up when it comes to art because they're like, oh, well, they'll only judge you based on your art style. But I'm like, everybody had to start off somewhere. I feel like I'm starting at ground one again. But at some point, I'll get to a point where I'm happy with what I have. But no matter what, I think I'll always have that desire to get better, which is good as long as you do it in a healthy manner. Do not obsess over your art too much. I've done it so many times where I've cried, just destroyed sketchbooks. Do not do that. It's not worth it. You just feel worse in the end. Take a nap, make some tea, have some coffee, hot chocolate, whatever you're into. I get that frustration. As someone that struggles with executive function disorder because of ADHD and has a high perfectionism level or whatever, I understand it 1,000%. So don't worry, I get it. And it gets better, but you have to put in the effort. So I'm hoping when my sketchbook gets here and my acrylic art pens, I'll, be able to experiment with a new media, because all I really do is just sketch. But I love how colorful some of the art I've seen before is. It's just it touches my brain so nicely. It's gonna be a journey of getting better. I'm gonna have my ups and downs because I also have to start accepting my sketches aren't always gonna be perfect. Overall, my goal is to stop buying sketchbooks and not filling them, and getting to the point where I can finally see improvement instead of giving up, because I had a period in my life where for 5 years I just didn't draw. I might have done a sketch once every 3 months, but otherwise I just never drew because I genuinely thought there was no point in doing art because I thought it just sucked so bad. But it's something I do enjoy. I love drawing. I really do. I love drawing. I love playing around with clay. I love messing around with paint. Just anything that has to do with creativity, I love doing. I'm gonna focus on drawing, building up my confidence in myself, and just trying to have more fun with it instead of turning it into like something that feels like a chore. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll get confident enough to open up art commissions like my other friends. Who knows? As I'm going on this journey too, I'm likely going to start working on improving my work when it comes to polymer clay or just air dry clay in general. because I do like making stuff with it. It's not at a point where it's Pinterest level, it's kind of at a point where it's like, hey mom, I made this in art class. And it's kind of like, because I love making keychains, and I love the idea of making cute little, character keychains. I don't know, stuff like that. For now, I have to get back to drawing because I've only gotten to maybe 10 pages total in both of these books. I've got some work to do. Thank you guys for watching. Wish me good luck, I need it.